Hello and welcome to Relationship Soup. I'm your host, Lisa Hughes. Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. How y'all doing today? How was your weekend? How's your week? Is your new year still good? Are y'all still hanging in there? Mm. I'm good. I can't complain. I'm blessed. I really can't complain. Life is good. Even when it ain't. Life is good, right? But anyway, so thank you all for joining me. I see that you all are logging in. Get in this room. Get in this room. We got some stuff to talk about today, right? But before I get into it, y'all know I gotta do my spiel. Okay, I see. Okay, I got somebody in studio already. That's what's up. Now, you know I have to do my spiel, all right? Because if y'all ain't liking, subscribing, sharing this across all platforms, y'all tripping. Y'all really tripping. So on YouTube, it's relationship soup, period. You got to put the period. If you don't put the period, you're going to be somewhere else, right? Now, come and join the forum. We actually going to address a question or 10. I was saying, we're going to address some things that were in relationship soup group. So on Facebook, join relationship soup group, right? So you can be part of the action. If you want to follow me, it's relationship soup LLC. Now listen, y'all know we still got greeting cards. Them ain't going nowhere. So if you need a greeting card for whatever occasion or holiday, check it out. That's relationshipsoup.com. And of course, you can check me out on Instagram at relationshipsoup. All right, y'all. So we're going to get into this thing today. And thank you all so much for your support. We're up to the 62nd episode, which is entitled Unfriended by Life When Paths No Longer Align. Now, some of y'all probably like, what's that about? Now, okay, so let's think about it. Whenever we think about relationships and whenever we talked about relationships in different platforms, we've covered various things in relationships too. Do we really think about friendships? Do we think about when friendships end and the impact that those have? Do y'all think about that? Have y'all had friends that y'all not friends with no more for whatever reason? And it ain't always got to be because it's bad blood, right? But I think it's worth talking about just why friendships break up, when to leave friendships, right? And you know, most importantly, like when to fight for a friendship. Okay, well, I guess it's not most important. Well, I guess in some cases it can be really important because sometimes you want to fight for your friendships, right? And all the time, it's not because of bad blood. Now, I've lost some friends or whatever, and it wasn't always because of bad blood. Sometimes you just outgrow each other. What y'all think? what I do want to do before we get into it, I want to share a question that I actually posted in relationship too, because I want y'all to be thinking about this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut and paste that, and of course, I'm going to share some comments from relationship soup. Let's see here. All right, so the question is it ever okay to rekindle a friendship you outgrew, or should you leave the past in the past? Oh, no. Sorry, I should. Did you really hit me with the Aaliyah tonality records? Is that what you're doing? Yeah, absolutely. So think about that, y'all. Is it ever okay to rekindle a friendship you outgrew, or should you leave the past in the past? Right. So we're going to get some opinions from some group members, and if you feel like you want to comment on that, feel free to do that. All right. Also, I put the link out there. If you want to come and join me in the studio, I got somebody in the studio already. Feel free to come in and join. Hey, this is about you. I open my platform up for listeners, for my people that support relationships too. All right, boom. So Derek says, some you outgrow, some you let go, some you should have known. Listen, ain't no lies told there, right? And I can say all three. Yeah, I can say all of those. There were some friendships that I knew good and dang well I should not have been in that circle, but it is what it is. I learned, right? I learned from that. But it's all Gucci, right? Life is about elevation and growth. And, one thing, and I'll elaborate on this later, just because a friendship ends, just like a relationship, it doesn't mean that it was failed, especially if you've learned from it, right? So, what y'all think? All right. So, this is what I want to do. I'm going to kind of go over some scenarios and stuff because I had some conversations with some friends this week and just over time. And I also got a couple DMs, right? So thank y'all for that. Y'all know I appreciate that. Um, and I want to know what y'all think about it. Give your advice or whatever. Okay. So because we probably all faced friendship situations like this. And of course, it's always a case by case. You will never hear me say all for anything, right? Y'all ain't heard me say all for anything. Now, if my guest did, that ain't got nothing. That's not a reflection on me. You feel me? But you ain't gonna never hear me say all. Oh, I see y'all comments. Oh, Medisa, what's up, girl? Yes, 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 yes. The lessons are most absolutely the lessons are important. They're absolutely important. All right. So anyway, I kept seeing a lot of stuff about friendships. Okay, and I was like, let's talk about that because losing a friend can really hurt. It can. I ain't gonna act like, I ain't got a little misty eyed over losing a friend. I have lost some friends over time. Hey, beautiful. I appreciate you joining me. I really appreciate it. All right, boom. So y'all, let's look at these scenarios, okay? And then we're gonna get into relationships. So y'all already know I got the true false game. Y'all know we're gonna do that pretty much every episode. Okay, listen to this. Now, have y'all ever had that friend who constantly complains about their life, whether it's about a boo thing or whatever, right? They got the boo that just ain't acting right, okay? Um, and you give them advice, you are the support and all of that. Now, this is the question, okay? The question is, and I know some of y'all have faced this. Am I the only one? Because I can think of a couple situations. Now, do you distance yourself? Do you continue to support that friend? Okay. Now, think about that for a second. All right. So, me personally, I can think of a situation where there's a friend, you know, that has a situation. I see you, Vanessa. Um, and I just chose to be a support because the truth of the matter is, and my closest counsel can tell you, right? The ones that are still here, right? The ones that got all my secrets. Okay, we probably all have been in that spot before where it's just like, man, we like, dang, and every conversation is gonna be like a therapy session, right? My friends can attest to that, right? Okay. So in that situation, what do you do? Me personally, in this particular situation, I've just decided to be a support because I know how it feels. I appreciate those friends that are still that will let me cry on their shoulder, that will let me tell the story 50, 11 times. You feel me? Because sometimes you need that, right? But then there are situations where I can see where people are like, yeah, no, I'm good. You ain't listening to your own. You ain't listening to your own advice. You ain't listening to our advice or whatever. Now, I would say if it becomes really toxic, or if it is a threat to you, it's okay to just kind of distance yourself. What y'all think? Have y'all ever distanced yourself, or did y'all continue to support that friend? What y'all think? Somebody says, "Ooh, girl, I could write a book." Listen, we all could. I'm sure my friends could write a book about me too. Hopefully, they don't sell my secrets though. I think Drake had a song about it. So, what y'all think? All right, so I'll give y'all some time to think about that. Scenario number two: have y'all ever had a friend that didn't support your dreams, or maybe it kind of seemed like they was kind of hating a little bit? Have y'all ever been in that situation? So, what did y'all do? What y'all do? All right, Medisa, I see you. I would give my best advice and support until it becomes too much for my mental. At some point, I have to keep it 100 and let them know that they need to add distance. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, right? All right, so in the situation, say you got a friend that's not supporting your dreams, it's not supportive, and it seems like they low key hating. How y'all moving with that? Are y'all gonna set a boundary, or do you just keep on, just hey, oh, they just feeling away, they just going through something. So what are you gonna do? I think me personally, I have been in that situation before, and for me, I'm kind of a track star. I mean, I am kind of a track star in some instances, but for me, distance is everything. Okay. And it gets deep. Okay, so let me tell y'all this situation. I'm just putting all my business out here. Okay, so boom. So those that know me, I made a move a few years ago, right? Career move or whatever. Boom. So, I moved to this other city or whatever. And it was this girl, I'm telling you, we was cool. Where you saw her, you saw me, right? Or whatever. So what had happened was, I had really networked and stuff like that, and I had got this dope spot. For those that remember, I had this dope spot in Buckhead. I heard Buckhead ain't Buckhead no more. But anyway, I had this really nice. I was in this nice high rise, good price, and everything. Right? I'm pursuing my dreams because at the time, I was trying to be in TV or whatever. So I'm telling her about it, like, girl, you know how we be like, girl, let me tell you. So I mean, I had came up. Okay, let me not give myself all the credit for it. It was really God. God put that together. Baby, when I tell you he put that together, God put that together because I could not have created a better scenario. So everything was falling in alignment, even from my schooling at the time, the place that I was staying, just everything was just cool. But what had happened was, she was kind of like, well, why ain't you tell me about that or whatever? Well, when I'm like, how am gonna tell you about something when, like I was like she was supposed to be my roommate or something. Okay, cool. So I just kind of explained it. Hey, this is the situation or whatever. Then listen to this. So one of her homegirls hit me up. Her homegirl, not mine, hit me up on Facebook. Hey, how you been or whatever? I'm like, oh, good. And I'm like, okay, I don't really talk to you like that. I know you. And so then this person actually divulged to me, such and such hates your guts. And I'm like, for real? Hold on, let me drink on this. Hold on. Such and such hates your guts. And I'm like, well, why? So anyway, we had a conversation or whatever. So needless to say, in that situation, I distanced myself, right? I'm not a track star anyway. I mean, I will be supportive, but I just felt like it was better to distance myself because that's very toxic. And you all know when y'all pursuing dreams and stuff like that, you need your counsel, your circle to be good, to really be supporting. So anyway, needless to say, that was a situation. So let's see here. So Medisa says, yep, I fell back and deal with them. Absolutely. That's what you have to do. And like I said, it's always a case by case. You can never say all for anything, right? And in some situations, some people probably would have stuck it out. And I think it's just really important. I mean, you have to look at where you are in that moment to figure out, hey, do I keep this friend? Is this beneficial or whatever? Oh, Medisa, I love you too. I love you so much, girl, because you know what? I tell you what, you always been cool and supportive. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't never been no bad blood or nothing. Like you've always been really supportive of me and the soup and all that. And I appreciate it because I mean, the ebbs and flows with relationship soup. It's been a pool over the years. So sometimes it's had its ups and downs. I just love you because you're so real and genuine. Glad to see you. Absolutely. Absolutely. God is definitely showing me some things, and I'm gonna keep moving forward motion, right? All right, y'all. So let's see. I see y'all joining the studio. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. This is another scenario, and then I'm gonna kind of bring on some of y'all other comments. And I see there's a few people in the studio. So boom, check this out. So, have you ever had that friend? Like you always call, hey, you want to hang out or whatever? You want to hang out? You want to do something, whatever? You're always the one initiating the plans. You always the one reaching out or whatever, right? So, and for whatever reason, they might be like, no, I'm good or whatever, right? So let me ask this. Let me ask you this. If you've ever been faced with that situation, did you stop reaching out to the friend? Was you just kind of like, oh, man, I'm cool. I'm gonna let them reach out to me, when they want to holler at me. So how'd y'all handle that? Let's see here. So I see your comments. Okay, Medisa, I see you. Medisa, you need to just go on and come in the studio. You need to come in the studio. I have realized that everybody is not supposed to go to the next level, and God will expose them and move on. No love. Absolutely. And that's the thing, too. And we're going to get into that. The truth of the matter is, everybody ain't meant to walk with you. Everybody ain't meant to walk with you, and that's okay. Right? And you have to have discernment so that you know how to move. Because what you don't want to do, you don't want to keep on holding on to something, whether it's a relationship, a friendship, or whatever that ain't supposed to be. You don't want to do that. Let God lead. Let me tell you, and I ain't gonna act like I done it all the time. My circle will tell you. Sometimes I'm holding on to stuff where God clearly said, "Girl, let it go. Don't force it. Like you don't force no pony. Don't force. Don't force it. Don't force it. Right." But anyway, so that's really important. Everybody is not meant to go where you're going. Everybody's not meant to go. All right. So let's see here. Medusa says, I'll come in. Yeah, come on in here, girl. Come on. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. It'll make you sick just like see it be these comments, y'all. I really be trying to be serious and profound. And then I'll be seeing these comments and I'll start stuttering or laughing or whatever. Okay. Together. All right, Medusa, get in here. I would love for you to come in here, beautiful. Stacy Jones. Thank you for joining me, Stacy. I really appreciate you. How do I do this? All right, so look, I'm gonna send you this link and just click on the link and get on in here. Let me send this invite one more again. And if you can't, because sometimes it's a little tricky, I'll put the link in the chat again. So just click on the link, follow the prompts or whatever, and get in here. All right, boom. So what y'all doing in that situation? Me, just look, I'm only gonna, I mean, for me, if I'm thinking about a situation, I'll just kind of let them come to me, right? Because again, I don't like to be pushy. You feel me? Like I don't like to feel like I'm doing too much. I don't like to chew my food twice. You know what I'm saying? Like so, if I feel like I'm doing too much, I'm gonna fall back and let them kind of come to me. Like, hey, if you ready to hang out or whatever, hey, just you holler at me or whatever. All right. So that's that. Nicole, thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate you. We really, really do. Terry Butch, what's the science? What's good, Lisa? Son had no games or practice this evening. Oh, I'm so glad that you're here. Thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate that. I'm still cracking up at your comment earlier. And no, I'm not pre-gaming. Well, I guess I kind of not. Never mind. Anyway, so let's see here. So Tenali says, those hating friends are wolves in sheep's clothing, aka ops, but God, Psalms 23:5, he will bless you in front of your enemies. Okay, so what's crazy is I've really been in the book lately, right? And I just literally read that. But absolutely he will. What did he say? He would make a table in front of your enemies, right? I ain't quoting it exactly because y'all know I don't like to kick it. So Stacy says, just join, don't know situation. Okay, Stacy, I was just saying, like, I'm just throwing scenarios out there. Like, have you ever been in a situation? I don't know. This might be more female related, but have you ever been in a situation where, say, you always making plans with your homeboy? I know it sounds funny me even saying it. So you always the one making plans, and your homeboy don't either. He don't return your call, don't come through, or whatever. Do you fall back and let him come to you, or do you just keep on asking? Oh, you don't see him at these. I don't know. It's in the chat. Unless StreamYard is making it where I can't. where I can't post. Y'all should be seeing it. All right. If you can't find it, it's in the chat. Medisa, it's really in the chat. So if you can't find it, we just gonna have to DM and figure out how to get you in this room. All right. All right, boom. I tried it to make me log in. Fall back. If they're not replying, then yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like I don't force nothing. I don't want to force nothing. I mean, but then sometimes, again, it's a case by case because then sometimes people they're going through extenuating circumstances. So I definitely have empathy for that. So again, it's a case by case. All right, y'all. So let me do this. Let me do this because I did get a couple of DMs, but I do want to kind of get into what the group members were talking about. Then we get into our game or whatever. All right, so boom. So let me ask y'all this. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and post this question again, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get into what some of my members were saying. So I posed the question again: is it ever okay to rekindle a friendship you outgrew, or should you leave the past in the past? Which I think. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and share some comments from the group. Let's see here. So Stacy says you can't expect no one to be you. Absolutely, you can't. You cannot. You absolutely cannot expect anyone to be you. And what's crazy is I was actually on Instagram earlier, and Kevin Hart he was in an interview and he was saying something like, "You really can't expect someone to have the same heart as you." And it's good to take the pressure off people that you're friends with or whatever because it's applying pressure when you have the expectation that people are supposed to move like you. So Stacey, I totally agree with that. Absolutely. Absolutely. So Nicole says, I'm usually the friend that always initiates the outings they could attend, but never reached out to invite me to outings. Eventually that gets old as well. Listen, absolutely. I have been in that situation as well. It's like, hey, I'll be like, hey, y'all, this was a while ago. Hey, y'all, let's hang out or whatever. Right. But then it's like, no, for whatever reason, they didn't want to hang out. It's cool. It's cool. But there was a situation, or 12. Okay, that's exaggeration. There was a few situations where they would hang out, didn't even invite me. They didn't invite me out. I was young then, it kind of hurt my feelings. But now I'm cool. Hey, really, listen, I be outside a little bit, but if I can stay in, I'm totally cool with staying in. Real talk. All right, so let me go ahead and share some of the comments from the group. All right, so this was the initial post. All right, so y'all should all be okay. So y'all know the question already. So Barbara says it depends on the situation. Did you really outgrow them? Was that your need for space? If you outgrew them, why go back? You don't outgrow true friendships. Hmm. Do y'all feel that way? Do you not outgrow true friendships? Do y'all feel that? What y'all say about that? All right. So then let me go ahead and share another comment. All right. So Sean says sometimes life situations cause friends to drift apart. You can outgrow someone mentally, but they can also catch up to you in the future. As folks mature, the things that may have mattered before don't matter as much in the now. I see nothing wrong with circling back if within time things have evolved and or people mindsets and acts evolved as well. Kimberly says, I think it's up to the individual. Sometimes it's really hard to rekindle an outgrown relationship because you can catch up with each other, but you aren't the same people that you were. That makes sense. So Gia says both. Tamika says, for me, I don't cut people off because we didn't see eye to eye or something petty. If I cut you off, there was a mad disrespect that took place, and I don't care how much you grow and come to Jesus, there will be no spin the block on that friendship. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So what y'all think? So Medisa says, I can't agree with that statement. Which statement, Medisa? The one about outgrowing a friendship or true friendships you don't outgrow? What you feeling about that? Absolutely. All right, so there are a few more comments, and I do want to bring those on. All right, so then my admin says true friendships never die, even when you go long periods without any communication. Depending on the circumstances, it may be best to leave things as they were, accepting what we cannot change. Okay, I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, but I see you. Miss Woodson, what's the science? Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you very, very, very much. I appreciate when you join in Relationship Soup. Actually, and that's one of my true friends right there. One of my true friends for a very long time. We were like ponytails, pigtails, and undershirts. So Medici says true friendships. Okay, I can see that because you know what? Me personally, I feel like there is a friendship where I felt like it was really a true friendship. There was a lot of history there, and I really thought we was gonna be Golden Girls. Y'all remember that show, The Golden Girls? Y'all remember that? Thank you for being a friend. That show, travel down the road and back again. But anyway, so we were like, look, we were planning to be Golden Girls together. You hear me? Like if everything hit the fan, when the children grew up and all that, like we was young, we was gonna grow old together as friends. We was gonna be like the Golden Girls. But the truth of the matter is, life happens. You change, you evolve, and to this day, like we're not friends now, and that's okay. Was it hard at first? Absolutely. It was really hard for me, and I did grieve that friendship because I really felt like we were true friends. But at the end of the day, I can say that I learned a lot. I feel like I taught a lot. It was a good friendship, but everybody's just not meant to do forever with you, and that's okay. That's okay. Everybody is just not meant. It's just not meant. All right, so let's see here. Let's see. Let me go ahead and bring some of my people on in the studio because I appreciate y'all being here. All right. Now, let's see here. Who's ready? I see y'all in the studio. Who wants to come on? Like, nod or something? Because I don't want to bring y'all on if y'all not ready. Nod or something. Okay. All right, cool. All right, so let me go ahead and bring music in. What's going
What's up?
on?
What's up? What's up? What's up? How's it going?
Hey, I cannot complain. It's going well. I really cannot complain at all.
Awesome, awesome. So yeah, I mean, when talking about the conversation of friends, and I think that we often go with the ideology of people outgrowing people. But
Mhm.
I was having this thought as I was thinking about it, is that when you talk about divine connections, at some point when you're going down the road, things are always starting out smooth. But as we know, from being in that sometimes you get potholes, and
Mhm.
you just have to get alignment. So you have to realign relationships. Oftentimes people want to cut people off, but really, there's bumps in the roads. But if you got that love warranty, love is a warranty. You can go ahead and put that repair on. You don't throw away the car because you need alignment or you need a suspension fix in the relationship. So, I think that it's imperative that we go through the ebbs and flows because relationships are going to have those, right? And
Yeah.
we just have to like go through the process of fixing it and not throwing the baby out with the water, so to speak. And so that's a true relationship. You're going to have those ebbs and flows. At first, a lot of things start out with a smooth road, but just because you hit a pothole doesn't mean that the relationship has to be over. And we just really have to focus on basically the core of the relationship. How do we get here? And just go back and pull back the layers to get us back on the road and run us smooth again.
Absolutely. That's true. And, I think that you make a really good point. And again, you have to weigh the situation. I do think that it is good to, sometimes you have to tough things out. Some situations do require that. Just like relationships. Sometimes relationships, there are hard times that hit. There are
Yes,
absolutely hard times that hit, and you don't necessarily want to give up. Now, that is something that was one of the lessons that I had to learn in life.
absolutely.
And I'm still learning. And I'm still learning. I ain't gonna act like I have learned every single lesson. So I can definitely see your point.
Yes.
Sometimes in some friendships, just play devil's advocate. Sometimes
Okay.
it's like you give them the chance. Okay, so say, okay, chance number one, something small, right? Okay, you talk about it, you forgive them, whatever, 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 and then they keep doing stuff and keep on and keep on, keep on. Sometimes you have to weigh if it's going to be worth it to really still be there. You feel me? Because sometimes
Absolutely.
it's more draining. It's not adding anything to your life, so you just have to kind of flow with it like that.
Agreed. Yeah, and it's going to be situational based on one history. I mean the depth of the relationship. and it's a case by case basis on, what that boundary is, where it's like, okay, you know, had enough, or we just really need to step back and realign and readjust and reassess. And, also too, it can be the vantage point of where you both are in your lives, to where you kind of have to put yourself in recess and kind of reassess the relationship and come back together. And oftentimes stronger, better, wiser. Sometimes, the the strength, because I'm big into working out, is not in the breaking down, but it's in the relaxation, the recess of it. And you can garner those relationships, or if they're true, if they're real. And sometimes, ebbs and flows of life, ebbs and flows of relationships can happen. But if you're serious about the friendship, and it's not something that harms you, but adds its value, is a value add to your life, you can come back stronger, wiser, better than what you thought that you had lost, or you had issues with. So at the end of the day, I just feel like relationships are work. You can't leave things to chance. There has to be mutual efforts in the relationship. Whether it's romantic or friendship. So at the end of the day, and you have to have the understanding, but you also have to understand where people are in their lives, and going through the ebbs and flows. And that's the thing. There's no smooth relationship. I don't care if it's friendship, relationships. There's going to be bumps in the road. And if it's worthwhile and it adds a value add, then you know you'll come out better. You'll have a strong connection with that friend. And I've had friends, and we the different ebbs and flows. But I'm a genuine person. I'm a genuine soul. So I always ride for my friends. Whether we're on a bumpy road or we're going through the smooth. But the thing about life and anything, even down to the human body, something is alive when there's a wave. You don't want it to flatline anyway. So it's always going to be a wave when it comes to relationships, specifically with friendships, because there's different things that go on in personal lives. There may be a conflict that needs to be resolved, that maybe is a misunderstanding. Oftentimes I find out that people have misunderstandings. And so when you think about relationships, you really have to talk things out and say, hey, I felt this way about this, or what did you mean when you say that? Because oftentimes if you don't talk about it, you leave things to chance, and you create these scenarios in your head, and things of that nature. But communication is key. That may sound cliche, but at the end of the day, I think that it's imperative that we communicate with our friends, and work things out if that's a genuine connection.
That makes sense. That absolutely makes sense. I totally agree. I do see a couple comments. Let's bring these on right quick.
Yeah,
Derek says, real, true friendships don't die. Those that do were either fake or conditional.
I
You
agree.
really feel that way? You really feel that way? Ah, okay, okay. That's
To
fair.
some
That's
degree,
fair.
there's some truth in that.
So Derek says, I'm literally struggling with my 50th soul day celebration coming up on Easter. Not sure if I'm going to do one. Why not, Derek? Enjoy. You got to do what's going to feel right to your spirit, right? Don't,
Yes.
hey, I ain't going to peer pressure you. If you don't feel like you want to do anything, even if it's to sit in solitude and enjoy the moment and have gratitude for making it to 50, hey, listen, you can do that. Do that. So Derek said, oh, facts, Derek. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm in therapy. Pardon me. Oh, okay. 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 I got you. I got you. Hey, listen. Listen.
Ain't no shame.
Hey,
That's
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 no
real.
shame at all. Listen, I'm all for therapy. Y'all done heard me in relationship soup talk about therapy and all of that. Listen, I done been in therapy myself. Look, listen, did premarital counseling, therapy, all of that. I'm all for it because sometimes I feel like there's nothing wrong if you have a good therapist, right? That's for your higher good, that's competent at what they do or whatever. I think that is okay. Therapy is a beautiful thing. And in fact, I feel like our community, some of them elders could have used some therapy too. Let's just keep it real, right? I'm just saying.
That's that's real.
I'm just saying. Hey, it's a good thing to me if someone can say, "Hey, I'm in therapy." That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. I'm proud of it. If more people were listen. If more people were, some situations wouldn't be.
Mm,
Aries
yeah.
season in full effect. Is it Aries season? Let's see here. Oh yeah, it is coming up. It is coming up. Aries season. Uh-huh. Fire, fire, fire. All right, so boom. All right, so Reese, look at this situation right here, okay? Because
Okay,
somebody
talk to
DM
me.
me.
Okay.
Listen to this. All right, so someone says, let me find it because I had it and then I started scrolling. All right, so let's see here. It's a situation where someone was basically saying, I don't have to read it word for word. Basically, what they were saying was that they've been friends with this person forever, right?
Okay.
But when their best friend got married, they stopped reaching out to them.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, so absolutely. Yeah, so what do you think about that? It's here it is right here. Okay, it says, okay, Lisa, okay. I was the friend that got left behind. My best friend and I did everything together, but once she got married, she stopped making time for me. At first, I was mad, but then I realized I wasn't really growing in life like she was. I was stuck in the same routine, expecting things to stay the same. It hurt, but I had to admit I wasn't evolving. That wake up call made me get serious about my own life. Sometimes being outgrown isn't rejection, it's a sign we need to level up. So, what you think? Do we maintain friendships when you're married? How you feel about that?
I think it's a per case basis. You can't cookie cutter anything. I think in that scenario, there should have been a conversation prior to that if that's how that friend was going to move and say, hey, I'm going to cleave to my husband and say, hey, this is the dynamic that I want going forward. But I mean, I think it is kind of strange that it would be like a complete cutoff, or maybe there was a drift away that happened. I would like to know more information, but obviously in this scenario we don't have that. But I think it's pertinent to really have those intimate conversations, even with your friends, to say, okay, this is how I'm going to move. But from a friend, let's just say, you have a girlfriend and, she gets married. And I think that it's kind of interesting that that relationship would actually, garner you to separate from your friendship, unless there was some kind of like maybe temptation that they felt from the friend. Maybe they felt like, okay, I don't really trust this friend around my spouse. I can see that happening. But if it was just merely like, hey, I'm going to cleave to my husband, mm, that seems a little odd to me. Personally, I just think that, there should have been more communication to the why behind the what. Now, on the flip side of that, obviously finding the silver lining in the situation, it did help her grow because, oftentimes the hard things is help us propel forward to be the better version of ourselves. So
Mhm.
obviously that's a silver lining, but I do think that that's odd the way, according to the way it was written, the way the friend moved. What do you think, Lisa?
I mean, me personally, I feel like, I mean, again, like you, it's a case by case, right? I can think to when I got married, I did not have the same relationship with my friends. I just didn't.
Mhm.
It's not that I didn't love them or care about them or whatever. I did move a little bit different. You
That's
know
fair.
what I mean? I was not doing the same things. Like my friends, being single, like we'll talk all times during the day. And, I have female and male friends. Okay.
Correct.
And so, it's nothing like when you're, single, you're not married or whatever, that, hey, your male friend might hit you up. Hey, what you doing? Let's go, whatever, whatever. You know what I mean? That wasn't
Facts.
happening with my husband at the time.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Because
fair.
I feel like, that is a respect to him. Even
Hmm.
though, we have the trust barriers and all that stuff in place or, whatever, you know. I ain't gonna reflect too far. I don't like to talk about my past too much.
I
Um,
actually I
but
feel you.
I just feel like, and it is something to your point that you do cleave to each other. I
Yes.
feel like you can, you know, um, prioritize or what's the word I'm looking for? You can still maintain friendships. I think that it's okay if they move different, if you move differently.
Hmm.
Like even now, like when, my friends get into relationships and stuff, especially my male friends, I'm like, hey, holler at me whenever. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be in your face all the time. I don't want to be in your face all the time. If you got a home, a new, I'm about to say new home girl. If you got a
I mean,
new
it could
boo,
be.
it could be a home girl. It could be a new home girl or a boo, whatever. My thing
Yeah.
is, hey, cultivate that holler at me because I'm going to be your friend,
No
right?
doubt. No
I
doubt.
don't like needy friends. You feel me? Like I don't like them friends that I'm just not that type of needy friend. So, you may move a little bit differently when you're married. I think that it's worth having a conversation. Okay. and to just make sure everybody's on the same page, because I do feel like it can be a happy medium and it can be a win-win. You just have to figure that out, so
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, do you think that you can still garner that in that space? Of course, it's a per case basis, and again, obviously, there are going to be certain rules based on the way that you move with your actual significant other, in that relationship, in a partnership, because I think that those two things can coexist, based on that personal scenario. So for some people, hey, yeah, they can have friends and navigate that, but for others, it's it might be a dead cutoff, when it comes to those relationships. And
yeah,
I think that
absolutely.
it's either way, depending on the dynamic of your relationship, is going to be fine how you navigate to the success of that relationship. So, I just feel like you just have to play it by ear, and everybody's going to be different. Everybody's going to move different according to the dynamic of their relationship.
Yeah, and it has a lot to do with what your example was, because I mean, as I believe I've talked about on other shows, you know, I didn't grow up with my parents having all these friends around. Like, they had their get-togethers and stuff like that. Pretty much, if I'm thinking about their friends, like, a lot of their friends were married. They were like married couples. They would get together. They would play cards, or have my mother would have
Right.
hen parties, as they called them, and that was cool. And then the truth of the matter is, as a married woman, there were just certain friends I knew I wasn't gonna hang out with. I just knew it just would not. It just wouldn't be right when I was
That's
married.
fair.
It would, because we was probably gonna go some places where I probably need. You know what I'm saying? So, just as a respect to my then husband, I didn't move that way. And I think that if you are a true friend, that you will understand that. I'm not saying that you should say F all your friends if that doesn't work for you. But I
Yeah.
think that it is a consideration, because once, I feel like a spouse, like, their feelings matter. Now,
Yes.
unless they trying to be toxic or whatever, if they just toxic, look, we ain't gonna go there. If they just toxic on one or whatever, you gotta assess the situation. But for me personally, I don't mind moving for what's gonna be the higher good of my situation, especially a marriage. So we got a few comments on. Let me get these on. Leah
Absolutely.
Nicole, what's the science? What's up, beautiful cousin? So
What's
glad to
up,
see you.
cuz?
Don Hooley. Hi, Don. How are you? Thank you for joining me. Terry Fudge. Ever since Central State, ever since Central State Hospital. You see, I'm sorry. See, this comment is funny. Mentals have gotten. If you an Indian know what Central State is, I'm sorry. Let me be serious. So, Mwanda, Miss Woodson says, I respect my friends' marriages. We get off the phone when she is tending to their household. It's respect like that. Absolutely. Miss Woodson is one of my closest friends. Look, she got all my secrets. That's the one with all my secrets, right? And that's the thing. And she is speaking truth. And the same with her. It's just like, I wasn't on the phone like when my then husband came home. Like, hey, look, he just pulled up. All right, girl, hit me back or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It was just kind of a respect thing. And I feel the same way. Like, I'm just like, look, even my cousin, hey, your husband there, holler at me whenever. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like that is a good thing. And everybody's situation is different. Don't go by me. I can only speak on my experiences and what I was raised with. It's not that I'm not open or whatever. I'm just saying that for me and how I move, that's just what I did. So we got a few more comments. Okay,
That's
so let's
awesome.
see here. Derek says, gotta respect friends, relationships. If you care about them, can ruin it otherwise. Absolutely,
Hmm.
because some friends ain't your friends, and I'm just gonna be real. And again, I come from a school of thought, or my father would tell me, them Negroes ain't your friends.
And that's the
At
PG
some
version, right?
point, at some point, you know what I mean? So I just feel like, I have to take all that into consideration with boundaries and different things like that. And if you're my friend, if you truly love me, you're gonna respect them boundaries. It ain't gonna be no question. You're not gonna feel no way. You shouldn't feel no way if you truly love me. That's
Yes.
just what it is. You have to have those boundaries in place, because I can say that if I'm reflecting over the years, there were definitely friends, male friends, that I wasn't gonna keep around with a relationship. I just wasn't. Because even though I would put those boundaries in place, I ain't want no problems, because I already knew it was gonna be problems. But
Hmm.
everybody's different. Don't go by me. We just talking. We just talking.
Yeah. And you can feel energies and things of that nature to know like where some things are not gonna work in those scenarios. And I was thinking about something, and this came to mind earlier. But tell me how you like feel about this. So I'm a music person, music man. So right. So I was thinking about the song "Can You Stand the Rain," right? And we always put it in the scenario of like romantic, but just think about like if you replace a couple words, can't that relate to friends too? Like, can you
Absolutely.
stand the rain? Like, on a perfect
Absolutely.
day, I know that I can count on you.
Absolutely.
It's like I think that's such a great song because that talks about the ebbs and flows of things. And great written song, Terry Lewis and I forgot the other guy, but anyway, but beautiful written song by New Edition, and Boyce Man did a great rendition of it. I just think that really perfectly orchestrates whether it's a romantic or friendship relationship.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean
that's what I think.
there are some parallels. There are
Yeah,
definitely parallels, and people that I'm true friends with, we have, you know, we are look standing the rain. We are walking through challenges together. You feel me? Because I can even think, my father passed, and I went through that tumultuous year. My friends walk with me, and they know who they are. They walked with me every step of the way, from
absolutely,
the marriage to the divorce, from my father getting sick to his death. Like even to this day, they walk with me. So absolutely, I feel like can you stand the rain? I think that is very relevant in friendships as well. But let me do this, Reese. I'm gonna take you off for a minute. I got a few more comments. You already
absolutely,
know how I'll be on a Tuesday. On a Tuesday.
absolutely.
So anyway, I'm gonna take you off of here. So thank you for joining me. All right.
My pleasure.
All right.
Thank you.
Boom. All right. So check this out. So I see there are some more of your comments. Michelle says I had two friends that started acting funny after I got married, and another one that got funny acting after I got divorced. People gonna be people. I can't get my blood pressure. Listen, I'm not. I ain't gonna get no wrinkles. Right? I ain't gonna lose no sleep. No, absolutely not. You can't. Because the truth is, sometimes people hide behind the title of a friend and they're not your friend. There's a viral reel that's going on where basically, I'm gonna be real quick. So basically, what it is it's these three women. It looked like they all just went out. Okay. And one girl is gushing about her dude, like, oh my gosh, he's the best thing that ever happened to me, or whatever, right? So I guess she gets out of the car so she can holler at her dude. So then it's the two friends left. So the one driving was like, oh, she get on my nerves, your friend, whatever. And so the other girl's looking confused. You mean our friend, whatever, boom. Okay, so I'm paraphrasing y'all. So what it was this friend that was in the driver's seat was actually hollering at her dude, the girl that got out of the car to holler at the dude. You know what I mean? So anyway, I ain't gonna go through all that. Y'all probably didn't seen the reel because it went viral. But I mean, everybody is not always your friend, and you have to have discernment. And you got to listen to that gut too. They weren't your friends, probably all American haters. Absolutely, absolutely. My current friend's song is MO3. Everybody ain't your friend. He lays it out. Absolutely, absolutely. Everybody is not your friend. I might be the poster child for those ain't your friends. Listen, and that's okay. Derek learned the lesson. What is the lesson? If that continues to show up for you, what's the lesson in that? You know what I'm saying? So think about that. All right. So let's see here. Where else do I want to go? Where else do I want to go with this? Mm, okay, so I want to get into this really briefly. Okay, just really, really, really briefly. Okay, so we've talked about friendships. We're touching on it. So let's talk about friends of opposite sex for a second before we get into the true false game, because I'm getting into that game. Um, when do you end those friendships? What are some situations where you'd be like, no, it ain't cool, other than sometimes when you get into a relationship or a marriage or whatever, you might end it. So what are some other situations, right? Have y'all ever dealt with that? And it's not just women, because I've talked to some of my friends that are males and acquaintances over the years where there were female friends that they were like, yo, I'm gonna have to cut Shorty off. She doing too much, right? Because we supposed to be friends, but Shorty doing a lot, right? So, what are some situations where y'all would cut a friend of the opposite sex off, right? For me personally, and I've shared this even with my circle. If I start to feel too uncomfortable, because I mean, okay, is it possible that some friends may start to like you? Possibly, that may be a situation, right? But if I start to feel too uncomfortable, I believe in being a true friend, but I have to look out for my comfort level as well. Because I mean, as friends, you do divulge information to each other. There is an emotional connection and stuff like that. So it's like, you have to, I'm just big on boundaries. Okay. just big on boundaries. I don't know if it's because I'm a Cancer or what, but boundaries are big with me. All right, so let me see here, y'all. I want to get into this true false game. All right. So I want to post this question because this was talked about in relationship soup and it was mentioned here tonight. All right, y'all. So true or false? I'm gonna go ahead and bring this on. Forgive me, my computer is kind of dragging. Okay, so if a friend is truly your friend, they will always be in your life. What y'all think about that? Is that true or false? If a friend is always your friend, they will always be in your life. What y'all think? True? False? What y'all think? Give y'all some time to answer. What y'all think? Tweet says, I give you 3 strikes, you're out. Listen, Tweet, you already know. You already know. You already know. Listen, I ain't gonna keep on doing the same thing over and over and over again. And Miss Woodson, you already know. You already know the situation. It's like 3 strikes, bro. I'm done. Cool. Now, Lisa, you know my story, just not the updates. Female friends are great when they're really friends. Yeah, they are. I think friends are great of the opposite sex when they really friends because I can say this: my male friends put me up on. I mean, my father put me up on game, right? On how some of y'all men be moving. Okay? Male friends, they will put. Hey, listen, they gonna put you up on game too. They can be really good friends, plus they can help you move and stuff. Okay, but friends, y'all know who y'all are. Y'all did help me move over the years. Okay. Now it ain't just for that reason, but I'm just saying that when they really just friends, I think it is a good thing. Often those lines are blurred because everybody, yeah, that's my homegirl. But no, y'all slept together though. That's really your homegirl, right? Is that really your homegirl? Or is it because she rejected you and now that's your homegirl? I mean, I'm just saying. I think it is. If it is true friendship, I think that's okay. Because everybody is not on anything shady. So back. So Tweety says true. Derek says false. Thank you for joining me, fam. I appreciate you. Melvin says false. So let's see what the answer is, y'all. Let me see. So the answer is false. And this is the source for this is Psychology Today. False. Friendships evolve, and sometimes people naturally grow apart without bad blood. Makes sense to me. Because see, this is the thing, right? And I'm gonna get to a couple more questions and I'm gonna get out of here. I really did feel like the situation I spoke on earlier, it was really a true friendship. But things happen, life happens, you evolve, and then you ain't friends no more. That don't mean that the friendship wasn't true. And like I said, we supposed to be the Golden Girls together. We was like, yo, when we get old, we're gonna be like Rose and Blanche and all them. It's gonna be all of us. We're gonna be friends forever. But it didn't work that way. It didn't work. And I really have no interest in rekindling the friendship because I just feel like, for what our friendship was during that time, we taught, we learned, and that's okay. I still want her to eat. We just can't eat at the same table. We'll be in the same restaurant, just not at the same table. That's okay. All right, so y'all, what about this one? What about this one? Let's look at this right here. True or false? I see you. Brandon Jones, what's the science? I got another question though. Check this out. Losing a friendship, losing a friendship can hurt as much as a breakup. What y'all thinking? Losing a friendship can hurt as much as a breakup. What y'all think? True or false? What y'all think? What y'all thinking? Can it hurt? I can say I've been hurt. I ain't gonna act like, I got this heart, it's an ice box where my heart used to be. I ain't even on that. Right? I've been hurt. I've been hurt losing a friend. I actually shed real tears, right? And not because I'm a Cancer and a crybaby, because I'm not. Just saying. All right, so let's see here. So tonality says true. Derek says absolutely. Michelle says true. B. Jones says true. Terry says false. Okay. All right, all right. So the answer is true. The source is Harvard Health. Studies show that the brain processes social rejection and friendship loss similarly to romantic breakups. That's as per Harvard. Now, again, case by case. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. I'm going to get another question in here. All right. So What about this one? True or false? All right. Let me know. I don't put the answer in there. I don't put the answer in there. All right. So true or false? Feeling relieved after a friendship ends mean you made the right decision. Feeling relieved after a friendship ends means you made the right decision. Is that true or false? Right? What y'all feel? Have y'all ever felt relief after you ended a friendship? True or false? All right, true. Derek says true. True. Tweet says true. Well, I don't lose no sleep if I do. I don't know why these comments be funny, but it just be some of y'all comments be hilarious. You don't lose no sleep, fudge for real. Hey, it's all good. It might be different for women. I ain't gonna lie. There was a time I really did feel away. I did. That's my friend. Melvin says false. All right, y'all. So because we got to get out of here. So, true. The answer is true. If ending the friendship brings you peace rather than sadness, it's a strong sign the relationship was no longer serving you, and that's as per Harvard Health. Right. All right. So let me do this real quick. Uh, Terry says nope. That's all good. That's all good. That just means that you're really resilient, and that's okay. That's okay. Let me see here. I see you in the studio. Derek, did you want to come on for a minute? Tweet says, especially the friend, if the friendship is toxic, definitely, absolutely, absolutely. Toxic friendships, I can't do toxic, especially this time of stage in life. I can't do toxic. I ain't gonna do toxic. So what y'all think? All right, so Derek, you want to get in this room for a few minutes? We only got a couple minutes because then I'm gonna have to end this. You good? Okay, I'm gonna put you on for a second. All right, Derek. So tell me this. So what last words do you have concerning friendships, or what advice do you? And let me not say last words because I hope this won't be your last words, especially with your birthday coming up.
My last words. We don't have to say last
Don't say
words.
last words. Don't say last words. Say what is some advice? I'm real big on stuff I say.
Yeah. So the closing advice would be follow your gut. Follow your gut, and don't be afraid to pay attention to the micro signs, the micro expression. You have to pay attention to the balance of friendships. You got friendships with some people. They'll never loan you money, but they'll fight for you.
Mhm.
Or you got friends that'll stand up, for your name. Ain't nobody gonna talk bad about you around me. But you can't trust them to help you move. So there are
Absolutely.
boundaries, there's levels,
Mhm.
but at the end of the day, when it comes to long-term friendships, boundaries, you have to make sure for your own health how much you are investing, and you have to be sure of people's intentions
That's
because
very
the circles and families, the circles and families that I lost and the reasons that I lost them, it
mhm.
says a lot. But the signs had been there. I just didn't want to acknowledge or recognize the signs.
Absolutely. That makes sense.
At the same time, there were people who were sincere that I wasn't giving as much time to. And it's a simple reason. They weren't reaching out as much.
Mhm, mhm, mhm,
Users will always reach out to you more than the ones who really got your back
mhm, mhm,
because
mhm.
those users they're trying to use you. So you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And you do have to watch that as well because sometimes those closest to you, they take you for granted, right? And that can
Yeah,
happen in friendships as well. They will absolutely take you for granted. And, they might not reach
yeah,
out as much or it just is what it is. So this is what
yeah.
I'm
It's
gonna do,
time to
Derek.
use it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So this is
giving
what I'm
people
gonna do.
too much. Mhm.
Now I got Verizon, it's kind of messing up. So I'm gonna take you off of here for a second. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this show. Y'all know by Tuesday by 8 o'clock, sis is hungry. So thank you so much for joining me.
And I think Mama's ready to lay down anyway.
Okay. Oh, tell your mother I said hello. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate you.
You know it.
All right, boom. All right, so y'all, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up, y'all. All right, so anyway, thank y'all so much for joining me tonight and talking about friendships and your experiences. There could be a part 2 and 3 to this because there's still some things that we can cover. But one thing I want you to take away from this episode is outgrowing a friendship doesn't mean you failed. Sometimes people just ain't meant to walk with you where you're going, and that's okay, right? Um, and growth isn't personal; it's purposeful. Growth isn't personal; it's purposeful. And sometimes you grow past things, and you should actually be happy if you both are growing, because I feel like that's one of the reasons why we're here is to evolve and grow. So if you've grown past the friendship, that's okay, right? And if you're really thinking about, do I want to end this friendship? Do I want to keep this going? Think about some questions to ask yourself. Is this friendship for my higher good? Is this friendship still feeding me? Or am I holding on because of habit? Because let's just be real, like relationships, sometimes friendships are just habit. Oh, they've been my friends since we was like, 2 and we had like pacifiers together or whatever. Sometimes it's just habit. Okay, that was extreme. But I'm just saying. So think about those things. And habit doesn't always equate or to growth or complement your growth. Sometimes habit and routine is just what it is. Sometimes habit and routine is stagnation, right? And sometimes it's time to cut the cord, and that's okay. Cut that cord so you can make room for what's right for you. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Thank you so much. Great show, cuz. Thank you so much, fam. I appreciate you. I appreciate your feedback, your comment, tuning in, supporting. Good night. Not Pocahontas. For real. Not Pocahontas. I appreciate that. I take that as a compliment. All right, y'all. So let's see here. Y'all know I have to do my spiel before we get out of here. So again, thank you all so much for joining us. Mama, thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. Aunt Anna, the viewers, Lyric, appreciate you all so much. And again, you should be liking and subscribing across all platforms on YouTube. It's Relationship Soup, period. You gotta put the period in there, y'all. Then Relationship Soup Group. Hey, come and join the forum so we can talk about friendships, relationships, and so much more. Right? It ain't just about romantic relationships. We talk about family ships and everything. Maybe we'll go there next. If you want to follow me, it's Relationship Soup LLC. And don't forget the website. It's graduations, it's weddings coming up. Listen, we got greeting cards for all of that. Okay, so make sure that you are hitting the website up. And let's see here. Is there anything else that I want to leave y'all with before my stomach start growling? Of course, y'all love yourself. Love yourself. Allow yourself to evolve and grow. Give yourself permission to do that. And until we meet next time, peace.